Cover letter should be brief, 3 to 4 paragraphs, 4 to 6 lines each maximum, not more than 3/4 of a page anyway. And your cover letter should be as targeted as possible to the position for which you are applying. Of course, you can have one that you can modify, but adapt it, don't make one for all potential applications. Contents for the cover letter should focus on the most relevant parts of your background that relate to the job opening. Some try to squeeze too much in one page and this makes the cover letter difficult to understand. Some make it way too long. That's not the way to build a cover letter. In the cover letter section, describe how your experience, qualifications and competencies match the position for which you are applying. Try to have 4 sections in 4 paragraphs. Try to have a very simple structure. In paragraph 1, you will express your interest for the job and give the most relevant reason for you being the best candidate. Make it simple and clear. You can say, please receive my application for this position advertised by this organization. I have this much experience in these fields and this qualification, and for this reason I consider to be appropriate for this job. This is your first paragraph. Keep it simple. Second paragraph. In this paragraph, normally you would present your experience that supports the application. Remember, relevant experience that supports the application. If it's a human resources application, for example, you could say something like, between this and that year, while working as a human resources officer for company X, I was in charge of staff selection, onboarding, staff evaluations and pensions for a number of, and here you will give the number of staff. This is just a made up example. The idea is to say when, in what capacity and what were your accomplishments in one paragraph only, and use a recent example. One from 10 years ago is not as relevant as you may think. Recruiters tend to value more recent experience than the old experience. Third paragraph should be on the education, skills and qualifications relevant for the job application. Again, don't make the claim. Give the examples that prove the claim while mentioning your formal education and your certifications or licenses. I know people with 3 masters in 4 different fields and they list this and list the undergraduate certifications and about 10 courses and maybe seminars and so on. It's way too much. And if, for example, you have a project job and you want to value your qualifications, you might phrase it like this. You might give the year to give an idea of your experience since 2012, for example, after receiving the project management professional certification, and here you give an idea about your relevant qualification. I manage projects in the fields of, and here again you give an idea about your expertise in project management. I have a bachelor degree in and a master in. You might add after this phrase in the same paragraph. You don't need to give the long list now. The recruiter will see it in your application in the education section. Just stick to the relevant. In the last paragraph, say thanks for the attention and express your availability for further information. Here I would also make reference to my CV, which gives more details. It's obvious, but just to make the connection and say that this is just a promo of the more complex and detailed you. Save and you are done. Almost done. Attach relevant documents. Sometimes the United Nations may require that you attach relevant files to your application. These files may be your last 2 e-passes if you are a United Nations staff member, your passport, your academic credentials, or any other document required by the job opening. There is a special section for this and it's quite easy to fill the information required. You will be asked again if you have been indicted, fined or imprisoned for the violation of any law excluding minor traffic violations. If yes, give the details. You will also be asked if you are a successful candidate of the National Competitive Recruitment Examination. Also here you will give the details and follow the requirements. And lastly, you will confirm the nationality at birth if you have multiple nationalities and if you have relatives employed by the United Nations for this specific application. Now you can save and you have an application. It might take you 2 to 4 hours to fill in everything, but take your time and do it carefully. One final advice on this section: don't use cover letter templates as such. If you still want to use them, understand their structure and content type and make them your own. And with this, we are finishing the complete the application form section of our course. Next one will be about applying for a job. I promised you that you will have all the details and this is what you will receive.